What's going on, everybody? It's your man Zoe Brown, and welcome to The Class, a distinguished group of entrepreneurs, educators, and businessmen. Over here to the left, we have Mr. Keenan Gray, who is a minister and an educator. And over here to the right, we have Mr. Dan Langlitz, who is an advertising professional. Today, we are here to discuss image, in particular, body image, and how it affects all men. You usually think it affects women, but it actually affects men too. So gentlemen, let's talk about it.
It's usually something that you associate with women or things that females might be dealing with. I think the way that our society is today and the influence that pop culture has on guys today is probably applying more pressure to men, particularly young men, in our society. So, do you need to hit the gym twice a day? Do you need to be, like the fitness dude? I think we need to be cognizant of that, and we need to be cognizant of probably how that makes guys in our culture feel.
If we're discussing body image, then we need to first deal with the inner self. Then after we deal with the inner self, we can go into the outer skirts of our bodies and what other people may perceive, or what we even may perceive what we want to look like. And when we do that, then we can affect not only ourselves as a whole, but everyone else. Now, once we direct our energy into how we're supposed to feel, then we can direct the flow of our life. So body image should be about self first and self-perception. Then once we get that under wraps, then we're good to go. Regardless of what we look like, we can make it happen. You could be heavy, you could be small, you could be thin, you could be tall. But if you're comfortable with how you look, then what you display will be awesome.
I mean, I don't think a lot of people actually realize that if you kind of deal with yourself first and figure out, well, how do I feel about myself? And if I feel negatively about myself, then why do I feel that way? You can't really try to cover it up with these external things because it's not going to work. You're not going to really get to the core of what's going on inside you unless you deal with what's inside you first and foremost.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like what we're talking about is the expectation around what it means to be a man in America today, and even more broadly than just talking about America. And that's where it gets a little bit dangerous for, I think, for guys out there is am I not manly enough if I don't, have the V-shape, masculine body, Am I not manly enough if my image doesn't match someone who I see in Captain America, someone, the most popular movie out there right now. Someone who I see on Instagram, who I follow, who might be a popular blogger, Now, look, I think having yourself put together and aspiring to have a particular body image that works for you is important. It makes us feel comfortable, it makes us feel confident, and I think it helps us represent ourselves in the best way possible that we want to as men. But I feel like, we're a group of men sitting around the table right now. Let's talk about what it means to be a man in society today. For me, that doesn't necessarily come from body image. That comes from other places.
Ultimately, it's important for us not to try to hold up or keep up with the standard that may not even be a real standard. We're living in the age of plastic surgery. It's becoming more and more common every day. We're living in the age of airbrushing. My telephone, actually, the selfies actually gives you the option to make your eyes bigger and your skin clearer and manipulate yourself. So there's a lot of false positives out there, and that's why I think it was so important what you said about redefining what it is to have a positive self-image of yourself as a man, and not looking solely on the visual and the outer, because that's fleeting. Ultimately the stuff that matters: integrity, responsibility, commitment, doing what you said you're going to do when you said you're going to do it, showing up on time. These are things that define a positive, good male image.
As men, we're taught not to deal with certain topics. We're taught not to discuss them, because if we do, that will minimize who we are as a man. So we have to deal with it as a man. But in reality, as a man, we should be able to discuss those things. We should be able to get those things off our shoulders and actually come out and decide, hey, this is what we need to do. And this is how can we do this? And that's what we need. And we need other men to help us.
That's right.
And this is exactly why we're doing this right now. We want to create this exchange of learning, create a dialogue for men to actually start to discuss these things. Even if you're not discussing them, after you watch this video, you're definitely going to think about it. So next time you think about body image, or you think about getting down on yourself because of your size, think about the things that really matters most, the things that people can't see, and only those things that you know. This has been the class. I'm so glad that you guys have tuned in. Tune in next time when we'll be talking about other topics that are relevant to image presentation and networking. It's your man, Zil Brown.